The deal to free Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl goes under congressional scrutiny. In the hot seat, President Barack Obama's Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. He defended Mr. Obama's decision to release militant leaders in exchange for the POW. Ebru's Kyle Schmoyer is live in the nation's capital, where he's been listening to and analyzing Hagel's testimony. He joins us live now. Kyle.
Logan, some real political drama playing out here on Capitol Hill today, as so many congressmen and women wanted their questions answered today. Why were 5 Taliban detainees released in exchange for only 1 U.S. serviceman held in captivity who may have deserted his own unit? They also wanted to know how it was all done without the president letting them in on the situation.
The president's decision to move forward with the transfer of these detainees was a tough call. I supported it. I stand by it.
Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel summoned before the House Armed Services Committee to answer why the U.S. swapped 5 Taliban detainees for the release of Sergeant Bowe Bergdahl.
I would never sign any document or make any agreement, agree to any decision that I did not feel was in the best interest of this country, nor would the President of the United States.
Hagel also explained why the administration made the move without consulting Congress.
The opportunity to obtain Sergeant Bergdahl's release became clear. We grew increasingly concerned that any delay or any leaks could derail the deal and further endanger Sergeant Bergdahl.
But many lawmakers on the committee, especially Republicans, had tougher questions they wanted answered. At points, the hearing turned downright testy.
How is it the United States could have been in negotiations with the Connie Network, a listed terrorist organization, and it not conflict with our policy that we do not negotiate with terrorists?
We dealt directly with the government of Qatar.
Oh, that's our footnote now. So now the new policy of this administration is we don't negotiate with terrorists directly.
Questions also swirled around the real story behind Bergdahl's capture and why he's still not back in the U.S.
You're trying to tell me that he's being held at Landstuhl, Germany because of his medical condition?
Congressman, I hope you're not implying anything other than that. The fact
I'm just asking the question, Mr. Secretary.
I'm going to give you an answer, too, and I don't like the implication of the question.
Answer it.
He's being held there because our medical professionals don't believe he's ready until they believe he is ready to take the next step through rehabilitation.
And that there, just a taste of the back and forth that was going on between the defense secretary and members of Congress there sitting on the committee with their questions today. A lot of Washington insiders that have covered former Senator Chuck Hagel, now Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel, say they haven't really seen him in a situation publicly where he has been so impassioned by what he was saying and combative, if you will. He pointed out that he thinks it's been a disgrace, the type of remarks that have been said about Sergeant Bergdahl and then about his family as well before the sergeant gets a chance to come back here and answer those questions to military brass. Logan?
Kyle, it did get very contentious at times. What appears to be the next step in these hearings? Are more scheduled for tomorrow?
Yeah, you know what? What's going to happen now is that very possibly you're going to have the Equal Committee on the Senate side of Capitol Hill having similar type hearings at this point. You know, everyone always asks, okay, we have these hearings, but what comes out of it? That's still the big question mark here. Obviously, other people maybe within the administration are going to have questions. Surely, these folks here would like to hear more from the president on this. We have heard from him on this last week. But, you know, an interesting thing here, Chuck Hagel sitting at the center of this swirl of controversy today. He sits there as a very unique person, you know, Logan, because he was on the other side as Senator Chuck Hagel from Nebraska. Many years he was sitting in similar seats asking similar questions. He's also a decorated war veteran as well. So many perspectives from that man as he answered questions today, and presumably will have to answer even more questions going forward. We're live tonight on Capitol Hill. I'm Kyle Schmoyer, Ebru News.
All right, Kyle, thank you so much for that report.